Long ago there was a man named Jacob. He was a rich man and had herds of cattle and flocks of sheep. Jacob had 12 sons. His older sons tended the sheep and cattle, but the younger ones, Joseph and Benjamin, stayed home with their father. Joseph had always been a good boy, and his father was very glad indeed to have him stay at home. Benjamin was such a little boy that he could not be of any help at all in the pasture. Back in those days, everybody had to work. The old father loved all his sons dearly, but it seemed he loved Joseph best of all. One day, Joseph took a piece of beautiful cloth of many colors, green, blue, red, and yellow, and made Joseph a coat. Joseph was delighted with his new coat and proudly showed everyone in the family. You know, a long time ago, I bought Grandpa what we called Joseph's coat at a golf store.
Okay.
It had a whole bunch of stripes in it. The brothers were very jealous when they saw their father's beautiful gift to Joseph. They had ugly thoughts in their hearts. They were jealous. And they said many unkind things about Joseph and their father. Sometimes Joseph had strange dreams. Once he dreamed he and his brothers were all out in the field when the grain was ripe, and they were cutting and binding it into sheaves. That means putting it into round bundles. It seemed to Joseph that his sheaf stood up straight, and the sheaf of his brothers were bowing down to his own. The brothers were angry when Joseph told them his dream. They were afraid that maybe Joseph would someday rule over them. After that, they would not even speak kindly to him. At last, they decided they would get even with Joseph in some way, and they kept watch out all the time, see how they might catch him. Once they were tending the cattle and the sheep, they saw that there was a very little grain left in the pastures, so they moved on to another. This pasture was a long way from the road home. You know what a pasture is? Okay. When some time had passed, Jacob was anxious to know how his sons were getting along, and he sent Joseph to find out. After a long journey, Joseph came inside the field where they had been first. He met the man who told him his brothers had moved away to a faraway pasture. Some boys would have turned around and gone home, but not Joseph. He had sent them to find out about the boys, so he went straight on. His father had sent him to find out about the boys. At last, in a distance, he saw flocks of sheep. He was very, very glad to know he had found his brothers and hurried on as fast as he could. The brothers saw him coming across the field, and they began to plan to get rid of him. They were still very jealous of him and afraid one day he might be their ruler. "Here comes the dreamer," said one of them. "Let me take him and kill him and tell our father that the wild beast did it." But Reuben, the other brother, said, "Let's not take his life. Cast him into this pit and lay no hand upon him." It's a hole in the ground. Reuben thought that if Joseph were put into the pit, later on when his brothers were looking, they could pull him out and send him safely back home. Reuben had to go to another part of the field to see about the sheep, and while he was gone, his brothers sat down to eat their lunch. A long line of camels came winding down the path. The evil thought came to his mind. He said to the rest, "Look, there are merchants going down to Egypt with a great loads of spices. Maybe we can get them to buy Joseph." You know what spices are? Pepper and salt and cinnamon and stuff.
Yeah.
They would sell him as a slave down there. They would make money, and they would never be troubled with him again. The others thought this was a good idea. So when the merchants came up, this is them here, they asked if they would buy a boy and take him to Egypt to sell as a slave. After a time, the men made a bargain, and the brothers sold Joseph for 20 pieces of silver. When the brothers took Joseph out of the pit, stripped him of his beautiful coat of many colors, and sent him away with the merchants, Away went the camels, and before long they were out of sight. And away went Joseph. Back in the field, the older brother Reuben was planning how he would take Joseph out of the pit, and the others were not looking and sent him back home. He went to the pit and looked inside. Joseph was not there. Reuben was so troubled he cried out. He ran to his brother's chest, saying, "The child is not, and I whither shall I go?" In other words, he was worried about his dad. Joseph was gone, and he wanted to know where he went. They told Reuben what they had done with Joseph. "See," they said, "here's his coat. We're going to kill a goat and dip it in its blood, and then we'll take the coat home to father." The brothers took the beautiful coat and dipped it in the blood, and said to their old father, "This we have found. Know not whether it be thy son's coat or not." In other words, they said they didn't know what happened to Joseph. Jacob knew that it was Joseph's coat. He said, "It's my son's coat, and an evil beast has devoured him and ate him." Then the poor old father mourned for his son many days. He never dreamed that Joseph might be alive and he might someday see him again. After the merchants reached Egypt, they sold Joseph to a captain who wanted Joseph to work in his own home. This is another good story. On the day, the captain's wife told some wicked stories about Joseph that were not true. Joseph was put into prison. Joseph was in prison for a long time, and there he made friends with all the other prisoners. The prisoners were very kind to Joseph and learned to love him dearly. Every man who kept the prison loved and trusted Joseph and showed him many favors. Sometimes the men would have strange dreams, and God gave to Joseph the power to tell their meaning. The king's baker and the king's butler were both in prison, and each had a strange dream. The dreams troubled the men very greatly, and they asked Joseph what their dreams meant. He told them, and the dreams came true exactly as he said. The king of that country also had a dream, and he sent for all the wise men and the magicians in his country to explain it, but they could not. And one day the king's butler went before him and bowed very low, saying, "O king, here is a young man in prison who can tell you the meaning of your dream. 2 years ago I had a very strange dream, and he told me the meaning of it, and every word came true. Send for him, O king." The king listened to his butler and sent for Joseph to come to the palace. As soon as Joseph arrived with the king's message, he put on his best clothes and went to the palace. He said, "I have sent for you because I have been told that you can tell meanings of dreams. I have a very strange one. Up out of the river 7 cattle were fat and well kept, and behold, even lean cattle came up and stood by the 7 fat cattle. After a while, the 7 lean cattle ate up the fat cattle. Now, Joseph, can you tell me what this dream means? Is there nobody in the kingdom who can?" Joseph told the king that it was God's power that helped him to tell the meaning of dreams, and he would do the best he could. Then he told the king that the 7 fat cows meant that there would be 7 years of famine, nothing to eat. He said, "O king, God hath declared to you what he's about to do." In other words, he said God's going to tell you what he's going to do. "You and all your people must plan to build great barns and storehouses so you can take care of all the grain that grows in the 7 years of plenty." Back in those days, they have 7 years of nothing to eat, and in 7 years they ate all they wanted. Then Jesus gave the king another message from God, that he must look for a man who would be wise and strong to take care of his work. The king asked Joseph to be his helper. "You are the wisest man in the kingdom." And he gave Joseph beautiful clothes to wear and a fine chariot. You know what a chariot is? That thing right there, yeah. Then he sent Joseph out among the people to ask him to take care of all the grain and get ready for the great famine which was to come. As Joseph rode around amongst the people in his beautiful chariot, he cried to one another, "Bow the knee," And the people bowed to Joseph because he was a very great man, greatest of all the land except for the king himself. All the time Joseph had been in prison, God was with him. He had helped Joseph to do all the right things. Joseph never forgot to thank God for his help.
Okay, so
Well, there's more, but that's enough for today. The other thing, everybody was jealous of Joseph because he was a good man and he was smart. His brothers were jealous and everybody was jealous of him. And when he went to, even the king's wife was jealous. So she plotted to have him assassinated, but it didn't work. She told lies about him, said that they two were having an affair, and they were not. And so she could have him killed. But the king found out about the lies and had her killed instead. And that's about it, I think.
Do you have any questions for Grandma?
well,
What question? Think of a good question.
no.
No?